Mushrooms are messengers from an ancient world. They are the visible fruit of a much larger organism. This organism is called a fungus. Fungi are not plants. Fungi are not animals. They belong to their own biological kingdom. This kingdom is vast and largely unexplored. Many people see a mushroom in the forest think of it only as food, think of it as a poison. The truth is much deeper. Most of the fungus lives underground, unseen. It exists as a web of fine, root-like threads. This intricate network is called mycelium. This is the true body of the fungus, and it is a powerful force of nature. The main problem we face is a lack of public understanding. Our modern world has become disconnected from these natural systems. We often fail to see the solutions that are right under our feet. Growing mushrooms is a partnership with nature. It is a process that we can guide and optimize. The process begins with fungal spores, tiny seed-like particles, or with a small piece of living mycelium. These are introduced to a nutritious material called a substrate. Substrate example, straw. Substrate example, sawdust. Substrate example, coffee grounds. Substrate example, composted manure. The fungus then begins its work. The mycelium grows, spreading a network of white threads through the substrate. It digests the material and draws energy from it. When conditions are right, the mycelium produces the mushrooms we harvest for food or medicine. A major problem is consistency and yield. Wild strains aren't always suited for controlled farms. They might grow too slowly. They can be vulnerable to contamination by other molds or bacteria. They may produce only a small number of mushrooms. The solution is refining cultivation techniques. Start cultures in perfectly clean environments like laboratories. Give the fungus the ideal mix of nutrients. Carefully control temperature, humidity, and airflow. Use modern sensors and automated systems to maintain those conditions. That results in larger, healthier harvests using fewer resources. The fungal kingdom is a massive, living pharmacy. For millennia, mushrooms have been making complex chemical compounds to defend themselves, to communicate, to digest their food. Many of these compounds have powerful effects on human health. The most famous example is penicillin, an antibiotic derived from the Mycelium fungus. It revolutionized medicine and has saved countless millions of lives. But penicillin is just one discovery among thousands. Some can lower harmful cholesterol. Others can stimulate our immune systems. Many act as powerful antioxidants, protecting our cells from damage. The problem we face is the rise of new diseases and the growing resistance of bacteria to existing antibiotics. The process of discovering and developing new drugs is notoriously slow, expensive, and often fails. We are in desperate need of new sources for medicine. The solution is to turn our scientific attention to the fungi. By systematically screening different mushroom species, we can uncover new and powerful compounds. Scientists create extracts from mushrooms and their mycelium. They then test these extracts against a wide range of targets: harmful bacteria, viruses, cancer cells. This field of research is revealing a treasure trove of potential new medicines. Some of these fungal compounds are already in use. For example, lovastatin, a drug used to lower cholesterol, was first discovered in the oyster mushroom. Lentinan, a compound from the shiitake mushroom, is used in some countries as an adjunctive cancer therapy to support the immune system during chemotherapy. Griseofulvin is an important antifungal drug used to treat skin infections. These are not just health supplements, they are potent medicines derived directly from fungi. Fungi are the planet's master decomposers, and their primary role in any ecosystem is to break down complex organic polymers like the cellulose and lignin found in wood. This digestive power is not limited to natural materials. Many fungi can also break down some of the most persistent and toxic pollutants created by human industry. The problem is that our soil and water are contaminated with a legacy of industrial waste. Spills of petroleum oil, accumulations of pesticides, and leaching of heavy metals pose a serious threat to environmental health and human well-being. Conventional cleanup methods are often incredibly expensive, energy-intensive, and can cause further damage to the ecosystem. The solution is a process called mycoremediation. Certain species of fungi, particularly oyster mushrooms, produce powerful enzymes that can break the strong chemical bonds in hydrocarbons, the main components of oil and diesel fuel. When mycelium is introduced to contaminated soil, it releases these enzymes and essentially eats the pollution, breaking it down into harmless components like water and carbon dioxide. This method is far less disruptive and much more cost-effective than digging up and incinerating contaminated soil. Another serious environmental problem is pollution from heavy metals like lead, mercury, and cadmium. Fungi offer a solution here as well, through a process called mycofiltration. As water flows through a dense mat of mycelium, the fungal network can act as a fine pored filter. The mycelium can bind heavy metal ions to its cell walls, effectively trapping them and removing them from the water. This principle can be used to create living filtration systems to clean stormwater runoff from roads or industrial sites before it enters rivers and streams, protecting aquatic life. Furthermore, fungi can help us manage our everyday waste more effectively. The problem is that our landfills are overflowing with organic waste, such as food scraps and agricultural residue. As this waste decomposes without oxygen, it produces methane, a potent greenhouse gas. Our modern world is built with materials that often come at a high environmental cost. Plastics, foams, other synthetic materials are typically derived from petroleum. Their production consumes massive amounts of energy and releases greenhouse gases. After their useful life, they persist in the environment for hundreds or thousands of years, polluting our oceans and land. The problem is our deep reliance on these unsustainable materials for everything from packaging to construction. We need alternatives that are functional, affordable, and fully biodegradable. The solution can be grown from the mycelial networks of fungi. When mycelium is grown on a substrate of agricultural waste, like corn stalks or seed husks, it binds the particles together. It acts as a natural, self-assembling glue. By growing the mycelium inside a mold, we can create solid objects of almost any shape. Once the mycelium has fully colonized the substrate, the object is gently dried. This stops the growth and results in a material that is surprisingly strong, lightweight, and fire-resistant. This mycelium composite material can replace polystyrene foam for packaging. It provides excellent cushioning, but unlike plastic foam, it is 100% compostable. It can return to the soil as a nutrient in a matter of weeks. The potential applications of mycelium materials extend far beyond packaging. Researchers and companies are now developing mycelium-based building materials, insulation panels, acoustic tiles, and even structural bricks. The problem with conventional building materials is their large carbon footprint. The solution is to grow our building components. Mycelium materials require very little energy to produce. They sequester carbon as they grow and provide excellent thermal and acoustic insulation, which can help make buildings more energy efficient. Feeding a growing global population is one of the greatest challenges of the 21st century. The problem is that our current system of industrial agriculture is unsustainable, particularly meat production. It requires vast amounts of land. It requires vast amounts of water. It requires vast amounts of feed. It contributes to deforestation, to water pollution, and to greenhouse gas emissions. We urgently need new sources of high-quality protein with a much smaller footprint. The solution is right beneath our feet: fungi. Mushrooms are a nutritious food source, low in calories and fat, high in protein, high in fiber, rich in vitamins, rich in minerals, grown vertically in indoor farms, require very little land. Compared to beef, mushroom protein needs a tiny fraction of the water and produces far fewer carbon emissions. Fungi's potential goes beyond grocery mushrooms. Through fermentation, we use mycelium to make mycoprotein. Mycoprotein is a game changer. It's produced by growing Fusarium venenatum in large fermentation tanks, fed a simple diet of glucose and minerals, rapidly converted into a fibrous mycelium rich in protein, texture remarkably similar to meat. Used to make plant-based burgers, plant-based sausages, chicken-style fillets. The mycelium structure solves the satisfying meat problem, produces large quantities of protein quickly and efficiently with minimal impact. Supports global food security, cultivated almost anywhere in the world, grows on agricultural byproducts, grows on waste streams, turning low value into high-value food, decentralizes food production and strengthens community resilience, addresses food deserts, shortens fragile supply chains. As we have seen, they offer a vast portfolio of powerful and practical solutions to our most pressing global problems. They represent a form of biotechnology that is ancient yet revolutionary. The benefits are clear, tangible, and available to us now.